Hello, I'm back. Welcome back to the channel. I've been out doing a few photographs this week, but nothing really that special. It's been rainy and very cloudy here in Perth, Western Australia, and it's a bit hard to get inspired, to be honest. I've tried. I've been using my twin lens reflex, and I've been using the digital camera, the Pentax, but yeah, nothing really exciting. Although I haven't developed the last roll of films from the 12 exposures from the TLR, we'll see. Got to work out not how to do that, but where to do it. So what I see a lot of photography online, and over the years, many years I've been in and out of photography, is the amazing photographs by many different people. Obviously, that's kind of an understatement, isn't it? You just look at some people's photographs and you go, that is incredible. That is incredible. How could I ever be that good? How could I ever be at that place? How could I ever do that? What did they do? How did they develop it, digitalize it, whatever else you want to do. But what I want to talk about today, and I'm going to do a different, it's not a book review, but it's a look at the Magnum Contact Sheets book, which I think any aspiring photographer or anyone really should have a copy of and have a look at. Namely because it shows, and I'll show you some examples in a minute, of just how many shots you may need to take to get one good shot. And dare I say it, with digital photography, that's a lot easier. But I'm the last person, being the mostly film channel, to talk about just rattling off, what is it, spray and pray, and taking 1,000 shots and hope that you're going to get one or two good ones. Because you will get a good one, or you should get a good one, but you haven't really learned anything. In fact, what you're doing is just relying on the technology and not any skill at all whatsoever. I recently saw, and I wasn't even going to talk about this, but now it's reminded me that a guy did a reel on, might have been a short video, whatever it is, on YouTube. It could have been a reel on Facebook, whatever. But he inadvertently had his camera on 240 shots a second, or whatever it is. And he didn't realise, and he aimed, he was going to take a photo of a flower or something, and he fired off, well, whatever it was, 120 shots, and he fired off 240 because he held the shutter down and didn't realise it. And he was amazed because he got a shot of a bee hovering near the flower. And I'd have to say most of the comments were pretty disparaging, because really you could have done that with 2 or 3 shots, 5 shots, or a camera that shot 5 frames per second. I've done it. In fact, I did it the other day, not by accident at all. Actually, I did it in 2 shots, and actually I did it in 1 shot. And what happened was I was taking a photograph of this frond that was against the sky. It wasn't a very good photograph at all, but it appealed to me because of the shape, and unfortunately the sky was really bland, and the frond kind of fitted in with the sky, so it wasn't even a keeper. But the second shot, a bee came out from it and just hovered it, and I took it with 1 shot. 1 shot, not 240, 1 shot. And it was just the irony, coincidence, whatever you want to call it, that after watching that, this just happened. Call it the universe, maybe it was. But it just proved the point that, anyone with really just timing and the ability to shoot, bees aren't that fast, can take that shot. You don't need a Sony A blah, 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 a $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 camera shooting 120 frames per second to take a photograph like that. In fact, who does? Most of us don't need that sort of technology at all. It's a complete waste of time. And it might look good on Facebook or whatever, or YouTube, but most of it aren't shooting high-speed sports, high-speed sports photographs, photography, video, whatever. We don't need that sort of stuff. We don't need 64. I'm going to get in a rant here, but I'm not, don't worry. 61 megapixel things to do this, blah, blah, blah. And there's always people go, yeah, but then you can crop and all that sort of thing. Great, fantastic. 24 is probably good enough. I'm just saying you can shoot, and this will be actually what I'm showing you here. You can shoot amazing photographs with the most basic, simplest cameras. Not as easy perhaps, but with skill. And that takes quite a few years sometimes, or not. So what I'm going to do is just show you some contact sheets from some famous people and people you've probably never heard of, and just show you maybe, and talk about, if I can, the thought process. I'm hoping this will film up okay, because I'm going to move to a different camera in a sec, and we'll see, maybe you get an understanding that there's hope for all of us who are out there and shooting stuff and going, oh, I just can't do this, and sometimes I'd shoot a whole roll or whatever, and you know, none of it's any good. It happens to the best of us, and it happens to the best of us a lot of the time. You'd be surprised. And I don't know if it's in here, but there's a famous shot, now I've completely forgotten his name, of a guy from, I think, when the Second World War was declared over, and he shot this couple, I think it was a sailor and a lady kissing in the street. I'm sure he's been in here, but I didn't mark it. And he had a whole roll of film to get that shot. And it's a famous shot because it's like, oh, amazing, how did you do that? You know, it's incredible. But he shot a whole roll to get that shot. And we don't realise that a lot of the time. And most people won't tell you that. But Magnum bear it all. So let's have a look. And this is the part you've been waiting for, the talking hands. Hello. So anyway, who's the first person? Ah yes, Henri Cartier-Bresson. Taken in 1933. He's got 18, this is actually not a contact sheet, strangely enough, but it's an assembly of the photos that were on the contact sheet. I'm not quite sure why that was done, but apparently this is what they think the contact sheet looked like, the order. Now there are two photographs. I think I'm just holding this up, just checking on my other camera that it's not too much reflection. I think the most common one you see is this one, and with the child sort of balancing here on the broken, obviously been in a war zone, Spanish War. That's the one that I see the most often, and it's just a study in, every child hasn't been posed at all, but it's as if they were. Apart from these two perhaps, but they're just sort of looking, and you think, oh, how did he do that? Well, how he did that was take a bunch of photographs. And please don't misunderstand me, this is not about, oh, you know, they're not as good as they say they are, blah, blah, blah. My goal for us here is to show just how photographers think, how they work, how they arrived at the one or two images that were a knockout. You know, these are kids, it's like herding sheep probably, herding cats. Actually, herding sheep is easily, isn't it? Herding cats, trying to get them to all stand there and do what you want them to do. Not that he probably would have wanted that. He wasn't that sort of photographer at all. He was very generally, you know, out of the scene most of the time. People didn't even know they were being photographed, unlike some street photographers nowadays. Here's another one which I haven't actually seen before, but it's another scene which is, you know, almost equally good really when you think about it. And the child with the, oh, what are they called? Completely forgotten. Anyway, that child there. The sticks. So anyway, he's chosen, or they've chosen, or Magnum have chosen, you know, the best photographs out of a bunch here, out of 18 shots. I'm not sure what film he was using there. I mean, he was a Leica guy, but I mean, I know he used other cameras at some stage. They're certainly not, obviously not square format. Just can't quite see the edge of the film there, but yeah, so that's one. And this, I presume, is negatives. No, can't read French anyway, just pretending. Look, there's some great images here anyway. I think a lot of us would be happy with a number of these, and perhaps he was too. And this is the other thing, I don't know exactly what Magnum showed, what the correlation was, how much the photographer had to say. Some obviously had more than others. He might have liked one, they might have liked another, but you probably wouldn't mess with him necessarily. Although Robert Capa was a strong man, strong-willed man, I believe, who was one of the co-founders. I've marked off a bunch of other ones, but let's just see if we can find one. Yeah, same sort of thing. I mean, you know, have a look at the number of photographs. Obviously don't go up to the mountains in Switzerland in 1940 and then just take one or two shots. I mean, almost everyone, you know, from a contact sheet point of view, everyone looks like a winner and probably would be pleased with many of those, but then you are in the mountains, so let's just say, without disparaging anyone, it's probably a little bit easier to get some great shots there because the scenery is insane. They look great to me. But yeah, you can see just the angle here, the mist, I mean, the whole thing just comes together. I love this one. I mean, this is on a book, obviously in a book. I mean, a print of this would just be amazing. There'd be more detail in the snow, no doubt. The sky, probably used a filter there, you know, orange or a red filter, although this is not quite so dark, but that would depend on the blue of the sky. This would be amazing too. These are, again, yeah, I don't know what camera again, but square format, obviously. Does he say what he put on used? Not really. But anyway, we can look up Werner Bischoff. So let's go to ones I have marked. Oop, where did I mark that one? There you go. Raymond Depardon in Chad, in Africa. This beautiful scene, desert scene here, just the sand dunes and the light coming across the sand dunes, and just the amazing, the diagonals that move from one edge to the other edge are just incredible. And also almost a peel-off effect to the top right as the dunes get further away. But he, again, look, he's taken a lot of photos here on a roll of film, roll of 35mm, and Ilford HP5 for anyone who's interested in that sort of thing. He's got some other ones here, but you know, oh, they've printed that. Yeah, right, so they printed that, well, yes, vertical, obviously. But he's taken a lot of other photos in different circumstances as well. I don't know what happened to these. We might see that in the next page, actually. You know, some trucks and things like that. Obviously an exposure thing here. He's taken a couple of shots to bracket just to see if you can get that exposure right, maybe, or maybe just something happened. The same sort of thing, you know, you might want to take a number of shots just to get the exposures right, but also just to get the shot that you really love. Again, you know, when you look at these, some of them are just not that great. You know, I'm hesitating about how I'm saying this because I'm not disparaging anyone, but you can see there's an element of composition, much more of an element of composition here that decided is better. Well, I think I can see either these two, probably maybe they are just different exposures. No, they're slightly different. You know, you probably would choose one or two of those. Very hard to see on a 35mm, of course, but without a loop or without making them bigger. But yeah, and of course, you know, this was photojournalism mostly. So, you know, how does this picture tie in with the story? And maybe these others did tie in with another part of the story. And he's saying he's taken it with a 28mm Nikon reflex. So that's an SLR with a 28mm lens, wideish angle. Oh, right, so there's the truck. Truck with stuff. An amazing photograph. Amazing area though to photograph. Most of those truck photos look pretty much the same to me. Slightly different exposure, possibly, not sure. And the guys on the top, maybe that's part of what decided, because you can't tell from these tiny shots. Maybe some of them were doing something, I don't know. Let me just hold this up here a bit more, try and make sure that reflection's out of the way. I think that's better. Just as a matter of interest, maybe it's no interest, I'm actually using a Sony app on my phone, and I can see that I'm actually videoing and what I can see in the video. So I've just kind of discovered that, really. I didn't find any other use for it really that I thought was interesting, but because the mirror is the way it is, I can't really see myself or the book at the moment. So, and then I realised, I think there's an app. So let's keep going. If I can just find that one without losing the spot. Who's this? Oh, Martin Parr, the British photographer. Wonderful photographer, took millions of shots. I'm not even sure which one this is. Oh yeah, okay. So in bad weather in Dublin, in Ireland, you know, 3 people, nice composition, and this guy looking at the camera just, to me, makes it in a way. If his head was under the umbrella, I don't think it would have been the same. And a nice diagonal of the fence running through the picture. What else has he taken? Well, he's taken quite a lot here. This is the one where they selected for whatever this was for. He's taken quite a few on this bridge, as you can see. Well, yeah, it's part of the same bridge, I presume, because that's a bridge too, by the look of it. But he's taken quite a lot of shots, and several have been used by the way they've marked them off. He's taken a lot of shots to get that 1 or 2 good shots, and looks like it's pouring with rain here by this look of the dots. Hopefully that's not just rubbish on the negative. No, I'm joking, of course. You know, he's used a roll of 35mm again and taken a lot of shots just to grab that fantastic image. So once again, you know, you've got to put some rolls through the camera to get some great shots. Let's just see if there's another one from that roll here. Maybe there is. Oh yes, there is too. So yeah, a nice juxtaposition of people going different directions. A lady with a box or something on her head. I don't know, maybe it's a sort of an Irish bag of some sort, I don't know. But yeah, look at the light, it's so low, that light, such a low, an overall grey, and yes, you can see the rain in the background coming down, furious. Steve McCurry, another well-known photographer, prolific photographer. This is shot in Rajasthan in India, using transparency film here. I don't know what it is, but usually Kodachrome would have Kodachrome all over it. Can I read it and see? No, doesn't matter, not important. Yeah, a lot of slides taken here. The colours of the women are wearing here. Rajasthan is a beautiful colourful country. The men wear colourful things too. It is just totally beautiful. It's a photographer's paradise, no doubt. He's taken a lot of shots. A lot of them look, I mean, just even from the size, a lot of them look just fantastic. Simply because of lots of things. The composition, the dust, the colours. This is a lovely bit here with the pottery just at the bottom and trees in the background. I don't need to go on much about it. I'll just read out a bit. My first instinct was to try and protect my camera from the swirling dust, but then I realised I would always buy a new camera. But the opportunity to shoot this group of women was priceless. They are dressed in textiles that are no longer produced, and I thought they looked quite beautiful. The final image that I chose from the edit seemed to capture the spirit of the moment. It is important to me because it reminds me of this part of the world that I have explored for 30 years. Well, there you go. Half his luck, as they used to say, or they say. Bruno Barbie in Morocco in 2000, so we're moving quite, 2000's 24 years ago, isn't it? But, you know, we started in 1930, so there you go. A lot of photographs, just trying to, what's the main, we've got a few here. We've got a few, yes, they are different. We've got 2. That's right, we've got 2. So, some gentlemen, I presume, sitting on a mat, is it? I don't know. He was born in Morocco, apparently. I've chosen a couple here. He's got, again, he's taken quite a lot. And I just realised this is kind of like a panorama thing, isn't it? Don't quite know what that is because they don't actually go into the cameras and things like that, which is probably a good thing. It's not about that. So a wide view of some sort. And I don't know what the object of the assignment was. They've chosen a couple of nice shots out of here. I mean, he's got quite a few of the guy just sitting there. I'm just going to say it's a guy, I don't know. With his hand over his head, probably from the sun. But again, look, quite a lot of photos there to get the one you want. Is there another one? No, here's another person. I won't go into that one because I don't know anything about that, and I don't know much about the other one. So the second last one is Elliot Erwitt, again very known American photographer. This is a very well known. He loved to shoot dogs, amongst other things, street type photography. This is a classic shot of the bulldog sitting on the guy's lap. Guy's lap? Woman's lap? I don't know. We can't tell. It's a funny shot, and he shot lots of funny dog shots. But look, he took a whole roll, essentially. I'm probably guessing there, but I'm not going to count them up. That would be silly. Probably a few there that would work, but he's chosen one for a particular reason. He said, I was walking with my friend around the corner from the studio on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, didn't have my camera, I saw the situation and said, oh, can I borrow your camera? And I borrowed his Leica. He was very generous, let me use it, and he shot the whole roll of film. There you go, shot the whole roll of film on it. And he said, and this is interesting, by the last picture on the roll, all the compositional and conceptual elements are in place. The absurdity of the image, further supported by a second dog on the left sitting in exactly the same place as the surreal dog-man composite. Same pose. Trying to read sideways here, sort of thing. Yes, they are looking similar, aren't they? Look at that. So he shot a whole roll in a Leica and got this infamous shot. So he wasn't just walking along and snapped a shot, as often we like to think. And this is what, oh, here it is. This is, it's a man. This is my point of this little review run through, that he takes lots of photos sometimes. Not always. There's plenty of photographers who just take that one of a lifetime shot. But then is that skill or luck? It's probably a bit of both. Skill and being able to get the camera in place and positioned and focused perhaps, although sometimes things are a little fuzzy and it doesn't really matter, which is probably one of those things to remind people of, that this obsession with autofocus, super sharp resolution, you're just hiding behind some things. It's nice to have, but you don't need that to take great photos. And infamous photos that outlive the photographer. And I hope you're encouraged by that. Last one, and I noticed there's two shots here that, first I was going to say that is the table shot. Oh, it's an empty pool table, table tennis table. I just realised what sort of a table it was. I thought it was just a picnic table. Probably an American, Poland, in Poland, in a snow-filled, park, I presume. Yeah, there's a few shots here, large format, medium format, large format. Just trying to see, it doesn't say. They look to me like a large, like a 4x5 almost, but yeah, that you wouldn't be able to contact sheet them like that. I don't think. No, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, it's neither here nor there really. Yeah, this one doesn't really do anything for me, and these two I thought, yeah, not really much in those either. But I love that, and here's a compositional rule. He's kind of broken, maybe not. Not quite. The rule of thirds, the table's pretty well right in the middle there. But I guess the horizon, if you want to call it the horizon, is, it's, not much above halfway, is it? So they're just guidelines really, literally, not rules. So yeah, I love this shot because it's flattish, it shows some of the stark, probably public housing of Poland, I don't know, no idea, never been there. And an empty table, which says a lot of things. But yes, as I said, I noticed that they had done this one as well. Right, the dog. I didn't even see the dog. Yes, look at that. There's the dog, of course. The dog makes it. Yeah, Dalmatian. That was a stroke of luck, really. But yeah, it certainly would be lost. I think personally lost without that. And because it's kind of a fairly monotone type thing, essentially black and white, possibly brownish and whitish spotted dog in the middle there. Just you couldn't ask for anything better. So that's my little run up of the Magnum Photos book. I'd encourage anyone to have a look through that and get some insight. A lot of them are very old, but that's neither here nor there really. It's a very heavy and thick book. There's a lot of photos in here, and I'll just show you, there's pages and pages of photos here and content. People like Bruce Gilden, Trent Park from Australia, yay! People we all know, Henri Cartier-Bresson, which I've mentioned about. A lot of people we know, a lot of people we probably don't know. Alex Webb's in here. I'm just trying to read off a few names that people may be more familiar with. So I hope that was of value. I realise it may have been a little bit hard to see the photographs because of the lighting and stuff, and this is the way it was done. But you'll see that my point is this: that go out and just shoot film or digital. Go out and shoot, but be mindful of, don't just rattle off 36 exposures, for example, and hope to get one shot. Take each one as if it's precious, because it is. It's silver for us film photographers. So you don't want to throw that away. And, there's a lot of talk about film being expensive. I don't think it really is. I think it is if you want to shoot off, 25 rolls without thinking about your shots. But if you get one or two good shots out of a roll, and that's doable, then you've got a lifetime memory there. You've got something, especially if you print it, and please print things, because you'll never see anything like what's printed on a sheet of photographic paper. It is just something to behold. It's tactile, it looks beautiful, the silver is beautiful, and they'll be there. Who knows what's going to happen with digital stuff? Hard drives fail, everything fails. Yeah, we can lose stuff in fires as well, but there's still albums around from 150 years ago which still survive. And I'm not so sure about digital stuff. Maybe with multiple backups and servers and things. The other thing with film and prints is that, and turning them into prints, is that you actually will look at them. And often we have millions of images on a digital thing which we just, do we want to look at another screen and look at stuff again? No, probably not. Well, the alternative is to go out. Yeah, you can print from digital too, of course. That's probably worthwhile doing. Anyway, that's enough from me. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to keep me motivated and keep on doing videos. Thanks for watching.